So there is a lot that we haven't looked at, and the idea is bankable projects. First of all, before we talk about development perspectives, we must understand what development is. Development means a positive movement into a desired direction or towards a desired goal. So that means development doesn't necessarily have to be positive. It can be negative or positive. For as long as someone is moving towards the goal, even if the goal is to hurt you, for as long as they are moving, they can term it development. So we have to talk about a different type of development, which is holistic development, which we define by the ability to have an inclusive towardsness of a goal towards social, economic transformation of lives and their standard of living, okay? And living in a harmonious environment. So we are looking at all aspects, economics, politics, environment, all within a holistic approach that involves everything. And that is what holistic development is all about. As far as perspectives are concerned, we began this series talking about soil as part of human sciences. And this soil is the habitat and the world in which we live, is what is really giving us our livelihood and our being. We talked about a perspective that most of us in Africa have not been considering, which is the fact that the soil is also medicine. We've reached an age of diseases we cannot cure. And within the environment, we have already seen that there are even new diseases that are coming up. Computer addiction is a new disease. Cancers are new diseases. And we do not have medicine for cancers. What actually comes out of it is that when studies were done, they put a cancer cell in soil. They found that the microbial activity within the soil and what it had done to very virgin soil was able to heal a cancer cell. So we are looking at the times how God and the creative intelligence, as I call it, made that the support system of human life and human sustenance, and it is also an economic system, was soil. Decomposed matter, microbial activity. And later we shall look at how we see the DNA of plants, 50% similar to the DNA of human beings. Meaning that whenever you stand out in trees, all you're doing is actually having transmitters, and you're rewiring yourself and you're charging yourself by being amidst trees. But we looked at the innovation of invention, which has taken away most of these things. It has created artificial goods. Where we say we lack protein, it has brought in flavor from China, which is similar to if you don't have mokene, you buy flavor. Even the fish smell it and think it is protein, but they are eating nothing. This is what we have created from the real one. The things that we used to grow, like tomatoes, I talked about that before in the previous years. Lycopene, which used to cure cancer, was in every tomato. Today, you can even have 10% lycopene in a tomato and it doesn't cure cancer. In fact, you can fall sick from eating the tomato more than the tomato healing you. So these are all perspectives that should be put within our development agendas that we should actually be thinking about. And this is the human science perspective. Right now, we have a deficiency of protein. By 2050, I talked about it in the previous sessions, but because we are talking about many things, I feel the need to bring a recap. By 2050, the whole world, we are going to have a protein scarcity. A lack of protein means that the cells in your body will not regenerate. When the cells in your body do not regenerate, it means we have a problem. And the problem we have means that once the cells are not regenerating, they'll group themselves within your body and multiply. And this is how cancer cells are formed in the body. That means as we are going on, we are going to have an increase of cancer that we cannot heal because of a lack of protein. Then we have to ask ourselves, what is the right kind of protein to have? Nothing with concentrates which are chemical, nothing that is not natural. Because decomposed matter, the soil, was already an economic system from the way we see it. We are rearing black soldier fly, and it is a community household income project. It is one of the examples showing you that we had even decomposed matters, an economic system all around us, but whatever we invented has gone into overboard. Somewhere, somehow, we needed to bring this in the middle, but everything that we have done as development in the modern world has put the human life at the back seat. And everything is going ahead, the advancements are going ahead, but the life of a human being is going less and less. By 2015, if it means you're going to have a lot of cancerous people, it means if today I gave birth to a child, and my child would be in 2050, would be 27 years old. And in that time, that means that this child will have cancer. And if they have cancer, there is no cure for that. Already we are having scarcity of mukene. And when we have scarcity of mukene, what does it mean? That all of us are on a drumbeat to our graves and living this world in a very undecent way, with the most pain, paying for a lot of crimes that we made without even being aware of what exactly should be the right attitude towards development. All these are development perspectives. Everything begins with soil. You get all the trees and you get them out. That is your life. It's the quality of the life that you're going to have. The system around you charges you. If you do not have the right kind of environment, the right kinds of soils, even the foods that come out are poison for you. Now we have got genetically modified foods which should grow very fast. We've also got genetically modified chicken. So at the end of the day, what is happening to your body? You're growing less and less and less. So we are not saying only protein scarcity. We are talking about, in as much as today we are very highly populated, we are talking about the world fading away. Humanity going off slowly by slowly. As we think money and we are making it life, we are also taking away our own life. We are buying something that is killing us and giving it the price on our ornaments. So these are the perspectives we have towards development. And in Africa, we even have another issue of thinking that politics is development. Politics is politics and development is development. Regardless of who you've chosen to be your leader in your community, if your child is sick, the child is going to die because you cannot afford medical treatment. Even if you are 100 people, how much money will be given to all of you 100 people because you elected someone? So development is completely different. Politics is politics. But really, politicians are supposed to just make policies that actually help the governance and put in laws into motion that govern a country. It really has nothing to do with that. Let me give an example. You've been in your house, you voted for someone. It's not going to put food on the table for you just because you voted someone yesterday. You still have to do what you have to do. So politics and development are two different things. But we've seen a lot of people leave their own professions and go to be politicians. And then we've seen this create a lot of problems. Because everybody thinks, now when I get money, all I need is to get money. And then once I have this money, this is what is going to make me successful. These are the development perspectives we are getting wrong. Even if you have money in the world we are living today, you're going to reach a time when you're going to have cancer and there is no amount of money that is going to buy your life. Because it is not there. So we might as well work to the real human conditions, things that are within holistic development, issues of human life sustainability, looking and preserving our soils which we have taken for granted. We've been spraying and breaking the chain that supports us, the trees that we break, And then what is very humbling about human sciences is that you realize even when a person is buried, the body continues to heal all those bacteria which were causing tumors, and then the body goes into dissolution. You imagine in the soil, it would become poisonous because someone died of a disease that killed them. You also plant something and you would eat that same poison. The soil has to neutralize all that. That is how good the creative intelligence was. That you have to eat something, but which has healed. So you're humbled that healing doesn't stop on top. It actually goes further. And we have to look at the soils in that same manner. What is very funny is that in the African tradition, our minds and perspective towards the soil has been brainwashed and conditioned in a funny way. Traditionally, we have songs that sing, "Ettaka lino lindike mpalana, kyenva ndirinya, ettaka lino lindike mpalana, kyenva ndirinya." Like, this soil hates me. That is why I stamp on it and I hate it because it hates me. It killed my mother, it killed my father. These perspectives put us behind in development. And nobody is talking about them. This is why today nobody wants to touch in soil. They feel the cleanest jobs are the ones you should do. They forget that even when you're these kind of lights which are inside the house, because DNA is all about transmission of lights, you are actually interrupting your DNA codes and it is weakening it and your susceptibility to getting diseases. But we are thinking that the clean things which have been marketed to us are what makes life. In actual sense, even our ancestors, we used to live longer, hundreds and hundreds of years. They had bigger brains. Their brains were not shrunk. It's because of the way they were living. When you see that in our lives today, there are experiments that have been done by certain doctors. They gave a child an antifungal and the brain shrank. So we are busy because we have money to buy all the things that kill us. We are celebrating money. We need it, but in moderation. But we must open our minds to what exactly is going on here so that we get development right and we have the right agendas within our politics, which is very different, from development. So let us get all these perspectives together and let us see what exactly development is all about. We are all on a march to the grave. And nobody is realizing we're even buying the poison that is supposed to get us there faster. And we are giving it a lot. The big houses that we live in, these houses, they block light from the outside. So that means when we are sleeping, instead of energizing ourselves and connecting our DNA and replenishing like all the things that germinate in the night, we are actually dying off because we are closed off. Our windows are closed off. There is no place where the moon passes, the plants, because they are making certain things within the night, the light and the chlorophyll and all that, and they are being more active within the night. We can't have access to that. Our grandparents lived in huts. And these huts they lived in, it was easier because it was soil and this would happen. So we are easily dying off. And this is why you find many people have allergies, they have things they can't cure, and then our attitude towards soil, it is very dirty. If a child even steps in the soil without slippers, is nicely slapped, you go back and wear your slippers, and that is how we've lost our connection to the environment, and that is how we haven't protected the environment in which we live, taken it for granted, we haven't nurtured it, and in the end, it's not nurturing us. So all these are development perspectives in the ways that I can give it. It's about having the wrong attitude towards what development is actually supposed to be. This is what should create consciousness in us. And then we see that actually this is what development is supposed to mean. How much money you have is not going to determine anything. There is going to be a time when it's not going to benefit you. You have money, sacks and sacks of money, so what? Unless you have it and you're using it to actually make this place a little bit for you. Not even your grandchildren may live up to 40 years. So let us have the issues that are really important in as far as development and perspectives is concerned. The solution to all the problems we've ever had as the African continent and humanity at large is consciousness of our actions and the way we are acting and of what we are not doing. Through this series, we are trying to create that awareness. And it is a privilege to Africa, for once, to look at projects within the soil support structure system that really help us activate our DNA and help us to live on the planet in a most cooperative and sustainable way. We thank you very much for following us through all these series, and we request that you press the subscribe button in support of this, because you too can be a participant in creating more awareness and making the world a better place. Or press a thumbs up, please share, or place a comment. And thank you very much for helping us to create more awareness. There has never been a time like this in Africa, where we can only contribute to human life and sustenance by simply being who we are created to be, using the tools that we are naturally given through agriculture, and understanding how best we can save the entire human race as we go on into the rest of the world and our lives. Thank you very much.